restoration. In John 10, verse 10, Jesus says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they might have life and have it abundantly." But what does abundant life look like in the midst of heartache, suffering, uncertainty, and trauma, especially when we're dealing with all those things in isolation from one another? In the summer of 2019, our son Charlie was 11, and he was very suddenly diagnosed with an autoimmune disease called type 1 diabetes. It's a disease that is permanent. It demands constant vigilance. There's no break from it. It requires him to inject insulin every time he eats food for the rest of his life. It's walking a tightrope between high and low blood sugars on a minute-to-minute basis. Too high or too low blood sugars both could lead to coma or death if left untreated. I was going to school constantly to do injections for Charlie and help him manage crazy blood sugar fluctuations. I felt like I was pinned at the bottom of a waterfall and I couldn't move. One day I cried out to God. I said, "I feel so alone. Can you please show me that I'm not alone?" And that same day, I received a text message from a friend sending me a song called "Even If" by a group called Mercy Me. I knew the song. The past 2 years, it was like at the top of my playlist. The song basically is like, "God, I know that you can take away my suffering, but even if you don't, I will still put my hope in you and only in you." So I was like, "Wow, thank you for sending that." And then she texted again and she said, "Did you know that he wrote that song about his son who has type 1 diabetes?" No, I did not know that. I did not. Next day, another friend texted me out of the blue. She had just met someone through her church who happened to be the chief engineer that creates the insulin pump that my son wanted. Within a week, we were there in San Diego touring the facility, shaking hands with the people making these pumps. And months later, now Charlie is using an insulin pump, and it's dramatically affected his quality of life. I had this image of the waterfall was stuck in my head. It related so much to it. But I asked God to help me because I couldn't find any hope in this image. And immediately I could see the waterfall, but behind it, God had carved a place out of the rock for me to crawl into and be safe. He was asking to be my refuge. Charlie's autoimmune disease does not disqualify him from living life abundantly, or Mike and myself as parents. If we keep accepting God's offer of refuge, then nobody can take that abundant life away from us.